because of the systems being so different, we have to just, one day there's going to be a break.
There's going to be people living in the simulation, and then the fucking,
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's going to be people that are stuck in the monetary system that we are now.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be the elite, the people that own assets.
Biggs and Bogs.
Oh, wow. You leaned into that one for sure.
Leaned into that sax note there, yeah.
Hey, folks, and welcome back to Your Future Hand with Biggs and Bogs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we got Spencer on sound and screens. Thanks for joining us today, folks. We like to come at you about once a week and talk about some subjects that we believe will benefit your future hand. So without further ado, smash that like button, and let's get right into it. What are we up to today, and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Yeah. Thanks. Good to be back. We didn't see you last weekend, so we're just going to, catch up on things that have been happening the last couple of weeks, what's going on with interest rates in Canada, maybe chat about Elon and the whole Twitter thing a little bit. But as always, first we're going to get into it with a bit of a market scope here.
Market scope.
Okay, so we're looking at the daily Bitcoin versus US dollar chart, and you can see things kind of played out. If you caught the last episode, thank you very much. But if you caught that, we were talking about having to break this red line here and maybe test this as resistance. And you can see that absolutely did happen. So let's get zoomed in a bit here and see what's going on. We got the breakout, the retests, and now cruising through this orange line that I've got marked out and heading to the top of the range. So this green box is going back, I think that's 3 months of time. So we got rejected 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? Three times now, 4 times, top of this green box here. So we're looking to break this if we're going to be trading in another range. I know some people have said we're trading in a new range now, but we're really not.
That would be the value area high in this range.
Yeah, exactly.
We have definitely not broken it yet. And I don't think we're going to.
So 21... You know what I mean? I mean, 21.8, essentially, we need to get above there and then, potentially a move up. But what do I think is going to happen right now? We didn't quite hit the top of this RSI. We do kind of have a double top, maybe a little bit of a bearish divergence, but we do still have room to go up. So, this week we could see a little bit more downward motion, like slow Monday, and then, potentially a move up to the top of this. But, people are saying bullish and the bottom was already in, but I don't know. I think we have
that's just it too, though.
Possibly a small move out of this RSI.
Yeah, I do believe too that we might still get a little bit more move upwards, but honestly, looking to me like the perfect scenario for the next leg down.
Yeah,
especially with what everybody's saying. Most of 9 out of 10 YouTube channels right now are like the bottom is in, like you said, and but I don't know.
So and even so if we got to that red line.
Well, just look at a technical spot. We're not even in the middle of the bear market yet, right?
If we got to this
we also have interest rates.
That's 22.5 essentially at the top.
We also know that interest rates are predicted to continue to hike another 75 to 50 basis points for the next 4 months, I think, for sure. So if you go to the website where it predicts it, I mean, it is just a prediction, but just based on what they're talking about and what happens at the meetings, right? So
they're supposed to be back down to 2%.
Exactly, and there's a huge gap in that still, right? So there's still a ton of pain that needs to be. If what they're saying, if what they actually do, with what they're saying, then we still have a world of hurt for the markets, all the markets. Basically, the stock market, since day one, is a game of manipulation. That's what it is. It's designed to make you think one thing and then it does another. So basically, they are manipulating the stock market and all of markets right now on purpose to strengthen the US dollar. Because if they don't, we know that it's on its last legs. This is,
it already is on its last leg. So in 30 months during the pandemic, the U.S. printed $6.72 trillion, right? So that was 40% of the total money supply. 40% of the total money supply in the 30 months that the pandemic was happening.
Yeah.
That's what caused all the inflation. And
it's not good.
It's absurd.
There's a lot of not good happening.
And the other thing that I looked into because of that, I wanted to see what kind of debt they were carrying. So the U.S. actually carries $30 trillion in debt. I think it's actually $31 trillion in debt. So Biden makes a promise that he's going to bring down debt deficits by $1 trillion in a decade. If he runs 2 terms, right? He's already created a $5 trillion deficit, right?
Okay.
So I mean, that's just like
so it's out the window.
A whole thing that's out the window.
And also you have midterms this week, I guess.
And unfunded liabilities, so shit like pensions and things like that don't actually have a payment plan in place yet or whatever, is $100 trillion. Right. So the U.S. is going to be paying more in fucking interest.
Yeah, and those are the liquidity pools that are put into the stock market to become your retirement. But now, they've basically, that's how they do it. Like they say, oh yeah, put your money in here and we'll help it grow. But everything is always just exit liquidity. They want you to put your money in when they've already got their money in, and then once you put your money in, they take their money out.
Or they take your money out.
Well, they take your money out. That's right. They take your money out, and then they wait for you to sell low because you're forced to, because you either lost your job and you need to sell some stock, or for whatever reason, or you're just over it. You're like, screw this, I'm taking my loss and walking.
Fear.
Right. So that's what the narrative does is scares you in and out, really. So like it's pretty bad. But like as long as we know this is how it works, and I mean, I'm not like saying this is not financial advice. I'm definitely not a pro at this, but I just like another topic that we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks, I think is just like the crypto community and that sort of shit and what it's actually done. And it's opened my eyes to so many things because I knew none of this before I knew crypto. I got into crypto, and that's what opened my eyes to just the whole financial system in general, because I'm like, okay, well, like this crypto thing seems interesting, but like, what is it? What's it for? Why would we use it? Why should I put my money in this? And then I start to figure out, well, it's like, because we run on a system, a financial system, and have for the last 100 and so years, that is failing, and it's failing drastically, and it's making people's lives terrible, ruining households. Like it's bad, right? It's like it's not working. They're blaming it on alcohol. They blame it on drugs. They blame it on everything else that's out there. But it's literally the system that we all are born into. Like it's so far beyond anybody nowadays. Like everybody, that even the old people nowadays have been born into this system. So unless we have a complete change into something else, crypto, it's not gonna ever really work or get better. Like it's only getting worse. It's only going downhill. We know that for sure. Now that I've looked at the charts, now that I've put in the time, I put in the research, I've understood what crypto is for, what the space will do for humanity, and then in doing so, learned about all the other crap that the reason that people started this in the first place, right? So it's just like I said before, we know interest rates are going up. We know the Fed is still trying to strengthen the dollar. They were originally saying that inflation wasn't going to be that bad, and then it was terrible. And now they're saying that we're going to come down for a soft landing, but we know that's not going to happen. The gap is too far away from where we are and where they want to be for it to be a soft landing.
And they have to continue to print money in order for the economy to keep going.
Exactly.
So
right?
It's like they could talk about quantitative easing, which is basically them slowing the printing of money, but it doesn't.
No, quantitative easing is printing money. Quantitative tightening is stopping.
Tightening.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like the only choice they have is to print money or everybody lose their job, right? And it's funny because the people that make these decisions are so far disconnected from the people that these decisions affect. And like they just get these pieces of paper that said, oh, the jobs were this, the GDP was this, and blah 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 was this. They get up and they live a completely different life. They're filthy rich, right? They live in these mansions, these manors with tons of other like people serving them and shit like that. Like they have no idea what the guy that has a small business on the corner is going through. And they are the people they're responsible for making decisions that this guy it's going to affect this guy. They're so far removed from it that there's no possible way they could get it right. Just plain and simple. There's no possible way. So they were wrong on the way up, and they overdid it, and now we're going to be wrong on the way down, and they're going to overdo it or underdo it, however you want to look at it. But either way, like a lot of people are thinking that Bitcoin's going to go up. I watch a couple other guys that think the stock market's having a bounce now too, and it's funny because we just talked about this.
The Nasdaq went up like 14% or some shit
in October.
Yeah. Relief
rally. What did we say at the beginning of October? Relief rally. What happened? Relief rally. Yeah. Your future hand.
Your future hand. I've been calling this.
You've been doing pretty good. Anyways, but that's just the thing.
But it's still, it looks the same to me. So it's like everyone's like, oh, hoopla, excited. So this is what I wanted to say too. It's like, oh, when everyone's getting excited, it makes you wonder what the fuck is going on, right? And there's actually another big YouTuber that talks about and apologized. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
It was a big sorry thing or whatever because it's really easy to take advantage of people in this market. And when it started, it's a Ponzi scheme. Like that's that's what the whole fucking world is. So in the beginning, it's like, you know, people getting on channels and promoting a certain thing and saying it's gonna go up. That's how they're getting their fucking bread and butter.
Well, and because it does go up, right? It works.
Yeah, and it will. Yeah, okay, but it's like, you know, we promote a token that, you know, got 1 million viewers. That token's gonna pump for a fucking week.
Yeah,
and then everybody who was holding that bag more than a week is going to fucking dump that.
And they were told that this project's going to be great. It's going to be a great long-term hold it for 10 years.
And now they're dead.
Now it doesn't even exist. So many happen. Yeah. And that's what happens. It happens every bull market because Bitcoin is doing fantastic. So a bunch of people want to copy it. Like you were talking about earlier, a bunch of people want to be a part of somebody else's success when they really have nothing to offer.
Just want to latch on.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what you see.
And that's why we just push dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Bitcoin only until you understand this market.
Exactly. Because that will help you.
Because that will actually benefit your future hand. And none of the other fucking jazz will.
No. Like, unless you have the time to be fully, investigated and you're watching this stuff all the time, there's no need, if you're a beginner, there's no need to know anything about Bitcoin and just start dollar cost averaging into it. Right now, even if we do have the next leg down, which I do think we are going to have at least a retest to the bottom.
The other thing, so we've talked about how Bitcoin is actually kind of works the opposite of the US dollar, right? Because there's 21 million and we know that there's a supply cap where the US dollar, there's an infinite fucking supply, there's no cap. So we know that there's a $21 million supply cap, but it's like, it doesn't only have that fucking good stock to flow ratio. It's like it works negatively because people lose their fucking Bitcoin and more people will continue to lose their Bitcoin. So it's actually going to be less than 21 million.
Oh yeah. It's already far less, right?
Right.
Like
so this is it's an accumulation game. Okay. So there's, 2 million left, but it can be fractionalized so much that even 1 Bitcoin left would be enough for everybody because the value would just still be whatever it was on the fractionalized amount. So it's like, it's just a game of fucking accumulation. The money system is going to change and Bitcoin is 100% going to be there because it's fucking permissionless. You know what I mean? It's like all you need is your phone to own it. And
the cool thing is that so right now I was talking with somebody online about this. They said that their phone is their wallet, and I just had to correct them and say, no, your phone is not your wallet. Your phone is able to access your wallet. There is things that are like a USB drive that has your keys on it. That's a wallet, and before too long, you're hearing this from your future hand first. There will be phones that are actually wallets. But the funny thing is, I bet you we won't even call them phones. We will call them wallets because they will have your passport. They will have like everything. Yeah. Whatever the one app is that has all your shit on it.
Twitter.
Like it might be Twitter. It might be whatever else. Like either way, that's the race right now. Everyone's trying to race for the app that does everything. Yeah. Right. And you're going to have a wallet that's, you're not going to carry a wallet and a phone. And a lot of people still don't even carry it. They just have their phone case and stuff like that. But it's all that stuff is getting integrated, and it's going to be a wallet that has your keys on it, that has your crypto. You're going to be able to sell, send, just literally tap.
The CEO of Binance is buying a bank, for one, already, and they've already had plans to launch their wallet, like the Twitter wallet too. So we were talking about a couple of weeks ago before Elon secured this purchase and shit, if he did and how it was going to play out and what was going to happen, that Twitter would probably be your all-in-one one-stop shop for everything that you had on your phone, whether it was fucking credentials, education, fucking your identification,
everything you can think of,
everything that you can fucking
your
think
mortgage,
of that you're going to be able to get exactly right there in Twitter. And it's like that. It's like that is also playing out too. Like he's now taken the whatever you got. Possession of Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's now privately owned and it's no longer.
And now
trading.
he's got these plans with the CEO of Binance and all these things, and he's integrating a wallet program already, right? So it's like the future of Twitter. Like people are getting freaked out and thinking it's weird and whatever, and but it's like I think it's really fucking cool, man.
Well, the thing is that it's scary because
Elon or not,
when you have all your stuff in one place, it's easily accessible for everybody. So if somebody is looking to fucking drill you or find out something about you, they only have to go to one place, right? So in that sense, it's a little bit scary. But I mean, as long as you're not, it doesn't matter what, where we go in the future, you're being tracked and blah blah blah.
That's just it.
We're so far beyond that.
I don't know. Just live your life.
Yeah,
you can't be worried about that because they've got it's all right here in my phone anyway already. You know what I mean?
That's come and gone. That whole worry should be out of your mind right now. I mean, unless
you haven't had privacy for a long fucking time.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you definitely got no privacy. But
and that's just the reality. But it's like if you're not doing weird shit, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it's like if you buy a bunch of Bitcoin, that doesn't matter. You can buy as much Bitcoin as you want. If you sell it, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's the accumulation game, by the time that you want to sell it or have enough profit in there or need to use it, you might not even need to.
So that's actually a good topic because you said that a lot of Bitcoin's been lost. So
13%. I think.
Yeah. So that's because of first of all, it was very hard to access and get a hold of in the early days.
Yeah.
But now since we have these ledger wallets and stuff like that, where you have your own keys,
yeah.
Essentially it's not lost because Bitcoin you don't actually get Bitcoin when you get it. You get private keys to a block on the chain. That Bitcoin will always be on the blockchain. You just get the private keys to however much you've paid for. So that's basically just access to it, right? Mm-hmm. You don't actually have a solid Bitcoin. This is just fake. But that's how it works. So if people are scared about losing their crypto, it's on the blockchain. You can't actually lose it. You can lose your keys, but that's just something that you have to do. Like when you create a wallet, you get like 13 or 14 phrases, and those are your keys. And anytime you want to go access your wallet, it'll be like enter phrase 4, 10, and 11. And you have to enter those phrases to get into your wallet. So, I mean, at one point, or before you know it, it'll be a fingerprint or a face or whatever, right? But like, just to ease your mind about what you're just saying, you could buy a bunch of crypto or a bunch of Bitcoin or whatever. Like, don't be scared of losing it if that's a case of yours, just because we're talking about how much has been lost.
I bought a Ledger Nano.
Yeah.
I think it was $100.
Yeah, it's well worth it.
And it's a cold storage wallet. It's a digital wallet, like you said, plugs into the USB. It's got a little fucking digital screen on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And it holds your keys, is what it does.
Holds your keys to your crypto.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that you need that. You know what I mean? That's like if you die, you're whatever. If you're somebody's going to need access to it again. So it's
make sure that somebody knows it.
If you are in this game, you obviously want to be pulling your money or your funds off of exchanges and putting them into a cold storage wallet. You can actually you can get cold storage apps and things like that too. Like Trust Wallet's pretty good, things like that. But,
I mean, as long as you are managing your risk, your risk ratio. If you don't mind having $1,000 on a platform that's staking and earning you funds. And it could potentially just disappear.
I don't know. I'm pretty fucking.
There's definitely a few out there that are not going to disappear. Like I don't. Binance isn't going anywhere.
I'm pretty trusting of Binance.
Yeah.
Like I just. With how much blockchain integration there is happening in the world of banking anyway, in the financial sector, it's like,
and plus
especially those big ones, Bitcoin, BNB, like anything in the top 10 essentially is not going to fucking go anywhere.
We'll put it this way, but CZ has been involved since almost the beginning, because he hasn't Binance hasn't been a thing since the beginning, but he discovered it pretty early and started developing, and he's been through all these bear markets and bull markets, and he knows what happens when they go up and down, right? So this last bull market that he had, obviously by far his best. BNB went from 11 cents or something, or $11 to.
So I was just gonna say, so if you had put $5,000 into BNB in 2017, and so like at the high, it would have been worth $30 million.
Yeah.
But now, even at 50% of the high, which is, I think it's at $300 or something like that, right? So $5,000 5 years ago would be worth $15 million today.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That's the fucking insane turnaround.
Exactly. It's insane. Like, and he is one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest, because when they count them, they don't, crypto's not on the list of assets yet. So when they do Forbes top 10 or whatever,
probably will make
it will be
a sector of the S&P.
It will be soon, right? But it doesn't right now. So that's why he's not the richest man in the world. But he would be if they counted the crypto that he owns. So that being said, one of the richest men in the world knows how the market goes, knows not to dump all of his crypto in the bull market, because he knows that he has a company and a bunch of people that are going to need it in the bear market. And he also knows that, like, if he does that, he loses everything, right? So he has risk management to a T. He one of the interviews I watched about him, he was talking about that exact thing. He's like, when I started to see these big players dumping their Bitcoin bags or whatever, he was like, I dollar cost average out on the way up, just like any successful strategist type person would do, but I'm never dumping these bags. Like this is my future. This is what I've literally, like, he gave up everything to do this, right? So like he's like a lot of these these tokens and stuff like that, these projects that just cling on for the success or whatever while it's going up. They have nothing built. They don't have anything at time. They're just like, oh, it's a bull run. Let's make a coin, or let's make an NFT, or let's do this, right? He has literally been in this for over 10 years, and he is like that. There's a reason why Binance is number one, and got to number one very quickly, I might add. Once he started developing it, he put a team together and got things up into the top 10 pretty quickly, and now it's way up there. So it's like he's the kind of guy that doesn't really care about money. He's not going to be pump and dumping you. He's looking at long term. He's looking at society being a better place for everybody. He's the kind of guy that wears the same Binance t-shirt and $50 pair of jeans every day, and he's the richest guy in the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like he probably has cars, but
it's only taken off in the last 5 years. So it's like 5 years is really nothing. People need to also realize too, it's like you are not fucking late. Like that's only like 4% of the world uses crypto right now.
No, that's the reason why we made this podcast. Because we knew like I didn't know so much 4 years ago, but I knew a little, and then I've been in it for 4 or 5 years now, and now I know, and it's like, okay, well, just talking to you in the last bear market or bull market or whatever, and you got into it, and then you were like, well, man, we need to like tell people about this. This is like, this is it, right? And I'm like, I know, you're right, this is it. So, but then we were hesitant to do it too much in the bull market, or at least to tell you to buy Bitcoin or anything like that. And I mean, because we knew it was going to happen.
We still haven't promoted this channel really.
No, we haven't spent $1.
No, we haven't promoted this channel anywhere yet. It's like we have a couple of social media posts in like the last couple of weeks. I think
because we're in a more comfortable range where we feel like it's like now is the time. If you have been watching this channel and not buying, well then you did great.
But if you were buying with us at $60K, then
well, dollar cost. If you buy Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin. Dollar cost average. That's the thing though. At $60K, you should have been only buying smaller amounts, right?
I wasn't actually at that point. I
didn't either. I did start dollar cost averaging around the 30s. But I have definitely bought by far most of my crypto in the last 2 months. I picked up because aside from other stuff that I sold, everything for the last 2 months I've been sticking to my DCA, and I will continue to even if there is a leg down. If there is another leg down, great. Like there very well could be like another year of just straight sideways price action where we're accumulation phase, right?
Accumulating.
Right, so it's like it's good. Now is the time. We've been waiting for this 70 to 80% retracement from the top, and that's where we are now. And if you look at all the other times that we stopped out, went sideways for a bit, I think maybe this is the second longest. There might be one that's a tad longer, but that's when we were up at 50K, I think, because it held that 50K range for a few months before it went down. But
I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know. I'm still weary coming into the end of the year because
we got the midterms coming up, right? November.
It's like people are gonna take Christmas fucking
exactly.
Too,
well,
like,
November is
like end of the year profits. So I don't know,
usually the worst for the markets just in general.
So we're gonna have a massive inventory correction in the world right now too, because of that whole supply shock that we went through. Too, right?
So very curious. The next 2 months are actually, well, I mean, you could probably say this any time, but like as far as human history goes and where we are headed, the next 2 months are crucial. Keep your eyes peeled.
This is why I think
you want to be paying attention because shit's going down.
There it is.
We're definitely due for some moves. Up maybe a little bit, but I think mostly down. We got a lot of things to figure out with all these interest rate hikes coming, and just the future, like that Saudi Arabia city, the line, like that's an example of I guess it's going to be like considered a smart city. Everything in there from day one will be the future. Like the monetary system, just the general system that we all live by nowadays can't really be integrated into the new future system that will be, because it just doesn't work the same. It's not like we're morphing into the future. Because of the systems being so different, we have to just one day there's going to be a break.
Be people living in the simulation, and then the fucking
yeah, exactly. Like there's going to be people that are stuck in the monetary system that we are now.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be the elite, the people that own assets.
And they're going to live in places like this, the Line City, where everything's autonomous.
Exactly, right? And the fucked up thing is these people that live in the cities aren't going to like probably aren't going to have to work that much.
And even Dubai is pretty nutty, man.
Like they're just going to have so much generational allocated capital that they're just going to be able to like live. Like people are, I don't know, man. People are going to get useless, like real quick. And I mean, if they're not already, a lot of people think we are completely useless nowadays, and it's like you just wait and see where we're headed, man. Like, holy,
that's funny.
Oh man.
All right, well, yeah.
Val, drop a comment, let us know how you're doing, and have a good day. Bigs and Bogs out. Peace. Best episode. Yeah, man.
That ending was terrible.
Was it?
I was like, well, yeah, I don't know.